In this episode, our target is to take Durazzo there, recapture Cagliari, and hold every other territory we have. So, welcome to QualityOldGames, everyone. This is part 5 of the Crossbows Only Campaign, as the Milan in Medieval 2 Total War, and I guess without too much further ado, we can finish the turn. By the way, let's train some additional troops so that we can really take that Cagliari after our humiliating defeat in the last episode. And let's see whether the Tunis is a castle or a fortress. It being a fortress would go a long way, helping us keeping it. So we can upgrade Milan, nice. And perhaps we should start the upgrade right away there. And in Florence we want to have City Watch. First in Venice, I think Brothel. In Ajaccio, I don't think we can build anything worthwhile there. In Tunis, perhaps Chapel. And it is a castle, so only one wall. And in Ragusa we are doing what we should be doing. And now it's important to get away with that fleet. And perhaps we could cause some harm to our enemies. Oh, we don't actually want to engage that fleet. And I think we should start gathering troops in Genoa. Perhaps we could bring some troops from Florence as well. So we should have rather decent contingent to take the fight to Cagliari there. And in here, I think we are ready to move out soon against Durazzo. Okay, so Zagreb will be besieged. Let's hope the defenses there are adequate enough, or else we will need to make another army in order to recapture it. So quite a lot of cavalry, but only a small number of infantry. Unfortunately, there is another army following the first one. So this might actually be a bit tricky. So I think what we should do is to make sure that the city square here is not captured, but otherwise I would like to annihilate the enemy army altogether. So let's put the crossbows on the walls, and I think we will focus fire on that enemy cavalry, because I think we have enough to keep the city, and especially the walls, so we could most likely block the enemies altogether. But what we are lacking is the ability to take care of a larger army, especially if this one gets reinforced by the other enemy army, and it might be fairly difficult to keep this settlement or castle if the enemy army is twice the size of this army. So that makes these camel spearmen as our primary target.
Save us! The enemy are battering down the gates! To arms, General! The enemy's ram has
Okay,
reached the gates!
so I guess we can fire at will at the moment.
The walls are no longer ours! The enemy have taken them! Only half the enemy force remains.
Okay, so those guys are already fleeing. But I guess this battle here is the most interesting one. Okay, so these guys are fleeing. And I guess it's fire at will for these guys here. And we are actually getting them to withdraw quite nicely. At least up until that charge, which hit us quite badly. So it might be that we are going to need to send these guys to help quite soon.
The battle is in our favor. If we remain true and wholehearted, victory will be ours.
So I don't think we are going to see those guys anymore. So we can bring these guys to help defend the city square. And actually there are not too many enemies left here either.
The enemy general lies dead. Good riddance to that desert dog. Praise the Almighty.
Okay, so that was rather nice, and hopefully we will have... I think we can release these guys. So hopefully we will have a chance to retrain the depleted armies there before we are besieged again. And it might be that those rebels are up to something there. So Venice can be upgraded. Good. In Genoa we have a church. And it will grow soon, so perhaps we should not build anything. And in Zagreb we have a church, and then we will go with the brothel there. And the defenses of Zagreb should be decent enough against this kind of army. So I'm counting on them to take care of that. And let's see about Tunis. It's doing okay. And here these guys need to go to be retrained. And I guess these guys will join the army and we will besiege Cagliari, and this time we won't be auto-resolving the battle. And since those are 120 men apiece, I think we can do at least something there in order to retrain them. And perhaps one of these units should be sent to Florence to reinforce the defenses there. And now I'm just wondering whether or not I should engage this army here in open field. The army seems to be somewhat depleted, but there are quite a lot of cavalry there. So that might complicate things, especially as we have suffered some casualties and some of the crossbows are of lower quality, but I think we will attack nonetheless. And it seems the enemy is taking the initiative. And of course, we should focus on enemy cavalry. And let's hope we can take down as many of these cavalry units as possible before they can hit us. So I guess that didn't go as well as it could have gone.
The battle is in our favor. If we remain true and wholehearted, victory will be
And that's, to say, quite surprising actually, because in my opinion the battle isn't going in our favor at all. But apparently we are doing some damage here. So I guess it's fire at will, whatever target they want. And of course the enemy has quite a lot of peasants, so we should have at least some chances in melee as well. Even though those peasant crossbowmen are taking quite a beating. But at the moment, okay, so our right flank is crumbling. I think the general is needed to hold the tide there.
My lord, only half our force remains.
Yeah. So this didn't go exactly as planned. But then again, I guess these guys could make a comeback here. At least some sort of comeback.
Lord protect us, our general lies slain upon the battlefield.
Okay, so this isn't going as planned at all. Oh, let's not attack those.
Our enemies have won these battles, but they have not won the
Okay. So much for that. And this most likely will mean that we will need another army to recapture Ragusa rather soon. Well, I guess I will use those crossbows defensively, mostly from now on. And another battle here. Fortunately, the enemies have only 2 entry points to the walls, at least initially, from the ladders and from the siege tower. And thus I think it's these crossbow militias that are the most efficient units here. And perhaps 2 units here in the city center will be the optimal number. So that's peasants only coming, and that's peasants as well. So I think we want to target the armored sergeants and mailed knights, especially the mailed knights.
Give them steel. Saints, save us! The enemy are battering down the gates!
Okay, I guess it's fire at will.
The enemy siege tower has reached our walls. Let courage and skill at arms lead our way.
Okay, so we have some armored sergeants here. I guess this unit will panic eventually.
Only intervention by the Almighty Lord or a military genius can bring us victory from this disgrace. The enemy general has no honor. He flees the field of battle and abandons his men.
Okay, good. At least the city square is holding for now. And I think those sergeant spearmen will make the best target there.
The walls are no longer ours. The enemy have taken them.
And it seems the peasant crossbows are charging
Pray the course of this battle
the city square.
because defeat our general shames us all. He flees battle while his soldiers still fight. Infamy will be his always. My lord, our general shames us all. He flees battle while his soldiers still fight. Infamy will be his always.
Okay, so those armored sergeants are broken. Nice. Let's see if we can break some other of them, or their units. And let's see how these guys fare in here. Not very lucrative avenue of attack here, it would seem.
The battle seems to be swinging in our favor. From such tidings does victory emerge. The enemy are badly blooded. They have lost half their men.
Okay. Perhaps and hopefully the final cavalry charge.
The battle is in our favor. If we remain true and wholehearted, victory will be ours.
So the enemy still has some fighting capabilities left. Those spearmen might actually mean some trouble, so let's try to whittle them down.
Has lost his stomach to fight. We must push our advantage.
And some additional experience wouldn't be bad for these units here. And these guys are bogged down there. Not anymore. Let's inflict some more casualties and I think we are done here.
The enemy are over.
A man of an hour would be nice. And I think we can release these guys. To increase the chivalry of our faction leader. And if we are suffering some setbacks in the eastern front, I think we must double our efforts in the southern front. Which might mean... okay. That was not nice. And Ragusa is actually looking quite solid at the moment, even though it has, or the garrison has suffered quite heavy casualties. And it seems we have 2 family members somewhere in here. And in Milan, it seems we need to lower the taxes a bit. And perhaps Duke Matteo would need to go and find some enemies to fight to increase his authority. And here, fortunately, we can recruit some additional units. And, I guess there is not too much to do at the moment. Oh, except to send at least some of these guys to be retrained in other cities. And I think we do have a turn. Perhaps I should lower the... Okay, so the Holy Roman Empire has declared war on us. That's bad. Of course we could take Bologna, but at the moment our resources are stretched rather thinly, but Bologna is right in our heartland. So basically we need to do something here. Okay, so Holy Roman Empire has been excommunicated. And basically it means that they have declared war on us, that Bern will be besieged rather soon. And I think we need to replenish our fleets there. And in Zagreb, I think lowering the taxes until we can upgrade the city will be more than beneficial for us. And let's besiege Cagliari. And they have quite a lot of bow units there, so it might mean that we need to wait for a bit before we can press the issue there. And here, of course, I think it would be beneficial to bring these guys to be retrained. Oh, and that was not a good accident there. But let's bring those guys to Venice. Hulks and war galleys. Perhaps we can dare to engage. And we have a new general here. Perhaps we could start gathering a standing army to besiege Bologna. And unfortunately at the moment we don't have the units to do that. So we need to wait a bit. However, I think we will need some reinforcements to that army in any case. Even if we are trying to hold only that bridge. Fortunately, the troops in Bologna are not that good. And unfortunately, Cagliari will hold out for 8 turns. And it might be that we are going to lose this fleet and army altogether. Okay, that was decent enough victory. And Ajaccio is besieged. The situation is getting somewhat tedious at the moment. And I guess the most benefit this army can do is to scout the area there. And in Florence we have city watch. Some good news at the very least. In Venice we have larger walls. And I guess getting more of those crossbow militias will be worth it. And here I don't think we want to train anything. It will take several turns to grow that city there. And in Milan I think militia drill square will be our choice of what to build next. Let's see about the enemy strength here. So they are actually quite depleted units, excepting these Trebizond archers. So I think we will hold the siege for some time still. Milan, I think we will make that militia drill square. In Genoa, we will go for the militia drill square as well. And here in Tunis, I think we can upgrade the fields. Okay, so the siege here has been lifted. And now the question is, can we train some additional troops? And next turn we should begin to get some new troops in Ragusa as well. And I think... Oh. That's not good. And at the moment we don't have enough money to replenish those fleets, but let's hope the situation changes. So Palermo is fort there, or perhaps actually even fortress or citadel. Let's check that out. Oh, and perhaps Genoa will be besieged. Okay, so at least we have a friendly pope at the moment, and here we have archery range, so it's time to start training some real fighting units, especially as Ragusa is likely to be besieged soon. And perhaps next turn we could move against Bologna there. And here of course we need to retrain the fleet. So Palermo is fortress, a nice price. And there is the enemy faction leader. So it should be a rather easy target to pick when the time is right. Okay, I guess we can get rid of this army altogether. And then we need to repair that our primary fleet so that we can get towards Palermo soon. And finally Zagreb can be upgraded, so we could start getting some benefits, or rather getting some more troops from there. I'm a bit worried about that. Morris army here in the neighborhood. So what's the situation with this siege here?
With God's blessing and yours, we march to battle.
I think we can wait a bit longer. Perhaps even starve them out. And let's attack Bologna from this direction. The plan is to starve them out and at the same time reinforce the army as much as possible. And since they have only infantry basically, I think our chances of taking the city are actually pretty decent. And of course taking Bologna will get us rid of an enemy stronghold right in the middle of our areas. Then again, those Holy Roman armies are on the move against us. And there are some Byzantine armies. So, as in the last video we took an aggressive stance, I guess our stance here is rather defensive at the moment. And it seems our priest even has abandoned us, becoming a heretic.
No more wars. Draw your sword. To the walls. We are besieged.
So will Venice get besieged or will they try to break the siege of Bologna? Okay, and it seems the Byzantine Empire didn't take too long in deciding what to do. And since this is a fortress, I think we will go for a multi-layered defense. So basically, the first line of defense will only try to slow down the enemies. We will put there units that can actually be sacrificed. And it's important to keep those towers manned. And perhaps one additional unit here as well. Okay, so this wall here should be where our primary defenses are located. And then we should have some units here in the city center. And perhaps these guys could reinforce the wall defenses here. And let's see. So the enemy has some ballistas. It's likely that they will try to knock down a section of the wall before engaging in real battle. And I guess this section will be their target. Yeah. So it means that we need to move these guys here. And let's see if they have enough firepower to knock down that wall section there. I guess they do have. It might actually have some benefits if they decide to drop this siege equipment here, or then perhaps not. I'm just wondering how quickly the enemy can get their troops on the walls. But of course they will need the ladders and rams to break through the second wall. Okay, so incoming it seems. Armenian cavalry. Let's hope we can knock quite a few of them down as they approach us here. Well, that was a few. Not quite a few, but a few nonetheless. And the ballistas, I don't think they have enough firepower to knock down another wall section. Then again, these town militias will likely try to get into the walls. So, okay, good. They are down, or rather fleeing. Another town militia. Wavering already. And it might actually be that we are able to hold even the outer wall at this pace. Something is happening here. So at least one of the ballistas is firing at the tower there. Perhaps they all are. Since no other wall section has taken any damage there. But it seems they have... Okay, now they are starting to hit it.
Save us! The enemy have the walls! Look to our defense, or all will be lost!
I think it's important that these towers just keep firing. They will inflict some damage. We might lose this mercenary crossbow unit, but I think it's worth it nonetheless. Okay. So we lost one tower. Repairing these walls is going to get expensive. And I think here we are having rather decent killing field. And it's only town militia that's trying to scale the walls, so I don't think we have too much to worry about them. And then there is that battering ram. I guess the enemy is defeated. The only question is how long it takes them to realize it. Perhaps we should target the enemy generals. Make sure that we don't need to face them again.
Praise to our Lord. Our men have slain the enemy general. Now his men will lose heart.
Quite inefficient, to be honest. Perhaps we should send out an execution company. And now they are fleeing. Can these guys actually hit them? Apparently not. Okay. So basically I think we need to take the units that have most ammunition left and use them to take down the enemy ballistas. Oh, and it seems they are taking the longer way out with those ladders. That's okay. Unfortunately, we have that another Byzantine army incoming. But I guess, well, we didn't suffer too many casualties, so I think the situation is still okay. Okay, I guess that's it.
All of Christian.
And I think we can release those guys. So, in Venice we have finished the militia drill square. And in Milan, the public order is causing more and more troubles. So, as the enemy has brought this army to reinforce, perhaps we should bring some reinforcements to the besieging army as well. That will hold for 2 turns. I think we can hold Tunis with this army, And here we need to repair these buildings and start training some new units. So I think it's time for a strategical assessment. Our target was to recapture Cagliari, to capture Palermo and Durazzo. And as you can see, we have achieved none of those objectives. And at the same time, our objective was to keep our own area that we currently had, and in that we have succeeded, at least for now. And I would venture to say that our position, troops-wise, is better than it was at the beginning of this video, especially since we are fielding two rather strong armies at the moment. Cagliari is about to fall, and I think we will have Bologna as well, as the defensive forces there are rather poor of quality. And also the cities have grown so much that we can train even more troops whenever we need. However, the political situation has worsened quite a bit, so we are at war with the Holy Roman Empire and quite a few other factions. This Holy Roman Empire actually is rather bad enemy, as we are its only enemy, and it seems to be quite powerful, fielding 3 armies simultaneously here. So we are going to have quite a lot to do in the future. So, thank you very much for watching. If you like the content, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Feel free to post comments, give advice, ask questions and so on. Have a great rest of the day. QualityOldGames out.